And then what really was the last straw was when the US and the European Union, they stole like 400, 500 billion dollars of Russia's foreign exchange reserves, you know? So the way the system works is the rest of the world, they have to work hard to earn the dollar and the euro, you know, because that's how all the trades have been done. It's one of the benefits of the U.S. Winning World War II. So then all these countries, so, you know, so like when Russia sells oil, gas, coal, wheat, whatever, Russia gets paid in the US dollars or the euro. And they cannot store that money in the Russian bank. So if Russia earns, you know, $50 billion by selling oil, they have to put that $50 billion in the US banks, you know? And then, so this gives the US extraordinary power over the rest of the world. Because then the US says, if you don't behave exactly, you know, how I tell you to, well, I'm going to lock up your bank account. Okay, so you lost your $50 billion. So Russia lost like 400 to 500 billion dollars worth of foreign exchange reserves. So the rest of the world saw this. They go, "Oh my God!" So, but this could happen to us too. You know, if we don't bow to the U.S., they're going to steal all our money. So since then, there's been a huge de-dollarization effort. And that's the prime, the motivation that pushed all these countries towards BRICS. And the rumor, or you know, what they're saying is that in the BRICS meeting next month, like in August, they're going to come up with a gold-backed BRICS currency. Mm-hmm. So that, at least for the BRICS members, when they buy and sell goods and services with each other, they don't need a US dollar. Okay, and they're going to use gold-backed currency. You know, and what is the dollar backed by? By the U.S. Military. Mm-hmm. And the petrodollar, you know, like because from 1945 until 1971, the dollar was backed by gold. You know, there were supposedly all this gold in Fort Knox and the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. So, you know, so if you had a dollar, that was the same as having some gold. And the US waged war in Korea, Vietnam, blah, blah, blah. And they just printed way too much money. So in 1971, so Richard, hey guys, sorry, whatever dollar you have, it's not worth anymore. Nothing, you know. So then it's been the fiat currency, meaning the U.S. can print whatever it wants, and all of the commodities in the world, you know, like especially oil. So Saudi Arabia, it played a very key role in propping up the U.S. dollar, you know. So basically, but you can say that the dollar used to be backed by gold, and then it became backed by Saudi oil. Mm-hmm. So if that's why the U.S. has a huge military base in Saudi Arabia. So it's not to really to protect Saudi Arabia, but to make sure that the Saudis don't start selling oils for Chinese yuan or whatever. So, but that's it's sort of like the mafia, like the system. I mean, it's like the racket. But it's not going to last very long. Because a few months ago, the UAE, which is like one of the large producers of oil, it sold some oil to a French company in Chinese yuan, and then the French company sold it to China in yuan. So like this was the petro yuan, And now if you look at my country, India, so it was buying oil from Russia with the rupees, that's our currency. But then, well, India is not a huge manufacturing thing, So Russia gets all these billions of rupees, but it doesn't know what to do with it, So if you had the Chinese yuan, well, you can buy Chinese products, right? And they can sell you whatever you want, right? And they are the king of manufacturing. But what can Russia buy from India? Not a whole lot. So said to India, guys, we are your friends. We really like you, but you have to start paying us in Chinese yuan. And well, India has a lot of conflict with China, right? But they were still forced to say yes. All right, okay. So we will pay for the oil using Chinese yuan. So a lot of countries around the world, like Brazil, is now selling a lot of raw materials to China, and they are accepting yuan, and but Argentina just paid back the IMF loan in yuan because they ran out of the US dollar. So in the old days, so what happens is when a country runs out of the US dollar, they go begging to Washington, D.C. They go, oh, so we need some dollar. And then the US, the corporations would swoop in and they would say, okay, so if you want some US dollars, you have to sell your gold mine, copper mine. You have to, sell your banks, with this corporation, that corporation. So they would buy the whole country for pennies on the dollar, and they would use the euphemism called reforms, privatization, So they would say, man, well, your economy sucks because you're too socialist. What you need is some hardcore capitalism. So to privatize your whole nation, sell it to the American corporation. So Monsanto can buy all your lands, and Citigroup can buy all your banks, and McDonald's can buy all your, food companies, blah, blah,